Hi, I'm Rhoda. I'm in the BA test kitchen and I'm here to have a super secret conversation about Chris Morocco. Once again, we're putting Chris's super taster abilities to the test. These are Matty Matheson's Nduja pizza pockets. I'm challenging Chris to recreate this dish using all of the ingredients in just one day. He'll be able to taste it, touch it, and smell it. But to really put his skills to the test, at no point will he be able to see this dish. At the end of the day, we'll come back to see his final creation, and I'll be the judge.
It smelled kind of like bready, maybe a little chickeny. So I've got half moon calzone type shape. It seems like it was just joined up flat and then crimped, maybe like the tines of a fork to seal it.
Why did you open it like a book?
I don't know, I just went for the seam. Saucy, dense, zesty. I've got very like spice forward tomato sauce that's fairly concentrated. It's just a bit of a goo. It's a bit of a gunge, if you will. No clear texture coming from onion, which is why I'm hesitating on it. Allium is gonna give you pungency, intensity, umami, a fair amount of garlic. I'm not really getting like obvious meat or pieces of meat. I'm not getting the texture. A calzone, in my mind, would use pizza dough. Yeasted, fairly springy, fairly light. Like, am I like losing my mind, or is there heat coming just from the dough itself? Why would you make the dough spicy? This is a little bit outside my comfort zone, but I would whack some cayenne just right into the dough and call it a day, you know? I honestly don't know with this cheese. It's salty, it's funky. Frankly, it just tastes like Parmesan. What the f is that? I was expecting something tomatoey, and this is like cheesy and funky and, oh, it's like blue cheese. Oh, like out of context, that's like some really crazy shit. It puts you in the mind of like buffalo hot wing, blue cheese dip. Like this to me is a lot more on the Guy Fieri end of the spectrum. I would say that this is a buffalo hot calzone. It's full on, but it's also like a little bit demented too. I think I'm good here. That was so many flavors, so many elements. I'm gonna make my shopping list and start to try to figure this out. I think AP flour is probably okay. Olive oil, like I guess like some cayenne. Yeast, sugar, we'll do egg. And then for the filling, olive oil, garlic, dried oregano, onion, chili flakes, tomato puree. Just so we have it, even though I didn't taste pepperoni, it could be there. Its porkiness may simply be lost against the backdrop. If we had some later for a snack, that wouldn't suck either. Blue cheese dressing, ultra creamy blue cheese. Maybe even like a gorgonzola, mayo. All right, so somebody's gonna go out and shop for this stuff, and then I will have my first shot at the dish. First crack at the dish. Gonna start by making the dough. Well, it's gonna take us a little bit of time, right? Because the dough's gotta rise and everything. But I'm gonna make enough dough for both rounds. Kelly, did you roll those out or did you just shape it by hand?
You tell me.
Man, she gave me nothing, you know? I am like quite a neophyte when it comes to yeasted doughs in a lot of ways. Like, I don't bake a lot at home. I find that really, really hard.
You looking for a pizza dough recipe?
Yeah. The original dish, there was a springiness and bounciness to the texture. You need yeast to create CO2, which is then trapped in the network of gluten, create that bounce, that chew. A teaspoon of sugar, just to give yeast something to chew on. Maybe we'll go with 2. I don't know. We're just making up at this point. I don't know, I'm not loving it. I'm not quite seeing a lot of bubbling and a lot of activity. So I'm gonna do another one, push some warmer water here. So yeast has flavor. Yeast is what's creating those bready aromas. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons. Already just have like a little bit more active bubbling happening. It's gonna combine the water with the flour. This is a good bit too wet, but that's okay. I can work some more flour into this. Put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in there too. Work salt into it. As I work it, it's becoming more elastic. I'm developing the gluten. A stand mixer might be better in a situation in which like you know what you're doing. When you're mixing by hand, that's kind of what's telling me if I need more flour or not. Just a tiny bit of oil.
What kind of oil?
Olive oil. Like already picturing like the red X's through everything I say. And I'm gonna let that rest at room temperature, covered. Executive decision, we're gonna split the dough in half and work cayenne into half of it. I feel like I was tasting heat in the dough itself. Either way, I mean, I wanna be able to bake one and just see how it performs. How much cayenne? Maybe a half of a teaspoon. As a contact lens wearer, this is utterly terrifying to me. Didn't really make much of a difference color-wise. I'm very curious to see if it makes a difference flavor-wise. So, filling. We need tomato. We're pretty sure about oregano, garlic, pepper flake, medium sure about onion. This stuff is pepperoni. This is gonna add fat, depth of flavor. This is gonna add heat of its own. There is a meatiness of the flavor that could be coming from a cured pork product. I can't guarantee it. Something just whispers in my ear. Could be wrong. I'm gonna go for the onion this time around. Not a lot of texture coming from that mixture. We gotta do like a fine mince on the garlic. Maybe I'll kind of go with a little bit of everything and then back off from there. Heat on the stove, got some olive oil, nice gentle sizzle. We do not want browned onion here. We're going for jammy, and then garlic can go in on top of it. So one thing that I just felt like was fun, putting some like very finely diced pepperoni in that aromatic base. Something that was like chopped this fine could unequivocally be masked by the texture of the cheese. Let this continue to cook out, then put in our spice element. So I'm putting some red pepper flakes in. I want heat in this hot fat. Same thing with the oregano. I have to recognize that in the original dish, the tomato element seemed to have zero texture to it. Tomato puree is not my jam. Normally my preference would be to start with whole peeled, crush them myself if I want them to be crushed. A puree can tend to be fairly tight and hard to reduce down further, but we're gonna see. Could there be tomato paste? Yes. Tomato paste gives you a lot of sweetness and concentrated tomato flavor. The filling ideally needs to be cold. You can grab a big bowl of ice, set it in a metal bowl, and cool it down real fast. Thought it would be a good moment to talk cheese. I have a well-documented problem with dairy products. I did not discern a melting cheese in the calzone. Parmesan is not a great melting cheese because it has a very low water content. That, in my mind, is like melted inside the calzone. It's like a fine shred that forms this kind of lacy web. It will still melt, but it's not gonna ever get gooey the way mozzarella and other high water content cheeses get gooey. So the dough, I'd say, has doubled in volume. Let's go for the one with the cayenne in it, just for and giggles. So we're gonna divide this into 4 roughly equal parts, and we're gonna work with one at a time. Yippee cayenne, you know? I had Die Hard on the brain the other day. You want a pretty even circle here. I mean, honestly, for this being pizza dough, like off the top of my head, like I'm not hating this at all. We just kind of have to go for it at this point. And that was kind of 2 spoonfuls. Parmesan always just feels a lot more right. I both prefer Parmesan, and I think I also tasted it in the original. Egg wash increases the luster, the browning, but it also helps seal things because egg acts as a binder. I'm gonna fold this over. Also, I probably should have done it right on the baking sheet. I feel like I felt fork tines on there. I'm hoping that I can get this off. Yeah, not bad. Not hating the size. Doing egg wash first. I just did it again. Roll here, transfer there. Anyway, we were able to transfer it. Lucky save. But I think we've shown it as an example of what not to do. All right, well, this is not pretty. It's not really sticking together that well. Starting to doubt everything. I felt like there might have been a little bit of surface detail, something, but it was more of like a dimple than a slash. Like just prick it with the fork maybe? I don't know. Let's just get it in the oven. I'm tired of looking at these things already. The last element of the dish is the blue cheese sauce. I perceived a lot of creaminess. That puts me in the mind of something like gorgonzola, which is fairly soft blue cheese. Gorgonzola is some weird stuff. It's blue, but it's very creamy, kind of just taking blobs of it and mushing them around. It's not like a cheese that wants to be, it's not a cheese that wants to be cut. Sorry. Let's get some mayo in there. There was a real pronounced fat content. I feel like my natural inclination is to lighten it with a sour cream or something, but I didn't think about it until now. If Kelly had sour cream or buttermilk, I would certainly be intrigued to know. Yeah! Boom. Sour cream obviously gives you like some stability and some body. Mayo gives you fat. Buttermilk gives you tang. So not as obvious as lemon, not as obvious like the sharpness of vinegar. Yeah. I think we can just hold this in the fridge until calzones are done. This is version 1. On the plate, ready to go. This is not bad. Like, this is not bad. Was the original a little bit thinner? Like a little less dough? I got a lot of flavor. I felt at the time I was putting a lot of cheese in there, and I don't think it's enough cheese at all. Do I get any heat from the dough itself? Maybe, yeah. I'd say for ingredients, I'm looking at maybe 80%. I'm a little bit concerned by the cheese. I am not getting a lacy cheese matrix in here at all. Technique, you got a sauce, you got a dough, you got another sauce, 90%. In terms of appearance, 2 calzone shaped things on a plate with a sauce and a bowl next to it. Come on, like 95. Taste, again, I'd give myself a 90%. It's a lot of the right things are there. That averages out to an 89. I mean, it doesn't necessarily reflect reality, but it certainly sounds good. In a break from previous format, I am going to be given my round 1 actual scores. Huh. Holy Hannah. Ingredients, 62. Ouch. Does that mean I should take out anything of what I have as well as putting in something else? Maybe. Taste 90, actual 77. That's f***ing bullshit. That's some made up TV bullshit right there. I think there's a lot of good stuff happening here. I've got one more shot to taste the original dish, and after that, I really need to turn it up a couple of notches here. Here we go. So I'm tasting the sauce first this time. This is like a little bit bright. It is a little bit zingy. I feel like there could be some acidity, like a little dash of vinegar. Ooh. Huh. There's f***ing heat in this too. What is going on here? Does nobody like play by the rules? In fairness, you can get both heat and vinegar in convenient liquid form by using hot sauce. Also, like, this is light. I think I need less dough. It's a lot of chili flake in here. You get like little bits of papery, crunchy pepper skin. The cheese is really vexing me. It's giving me a little bit of a bouncier texture than I was picking up on the first pass. It doesn't seem like straight mozzarella to me. It feels like it is mixed right into the sauce to form a filling of sorts. I think we were way heavy on tomato before and way too liquidy in our filling. You could easily have tomato paste at work here. I feel like I just got a piece of onion, that's good. I'm not getting like obvious pieces of pepperoni. I feel like I am getting the flavor. It's dispersing pretty readily throughout the filling. It's like, it could be like Nduja. So Nduja is whipped pork fat. It's combined with chilies and then fermented. It's like a spreadable paste almost. I mean, it would make sense in an application like this where it's sort of like giving you sort of the flavor of pepperoni, but without any of the texture. I think I'm good in terms of this tasting, but we need to have a very frank talk about ingredients here. So off. I need a vinegar-based hot sauce. I need like a semi-soft melting cheese, such as like a provolone, whole milk mozzarella, double concentrated tomato paste, Nduja. The culinary team is gonna humor me. We'll see what shows up in a sec here. I will then have one more chance to cook this dish for the judge. Mozzarella. It was not giving me mozzarella. Cholula? A beautiful, nay, perfect hot sauce, but not the one I would have expected. Nduja puts this dish in a totally different category. Like, I don't know that Nduja is gonna register at like Pizzeria Uno. Very curious, even more so about the chef. High-low, kind of chaotic. Well, it's like looking in a mirror. Here's my dough with cayenne. I'm gonna stick with this and I'm just gonna bring it to room temp. So I need to make a new filling from scratch. Same technique, sweating out the onion, adding the garlic on top of it. Let's do Nduja next. We are looking for chili heat. We are looking for concentration and depth here. You will develop its flavor as the Nduja warms up. A couple tablespoons of tomato paste. I was feeling like this was strictly kind of like a lowbrow dish. With the Nduja, it's like I'm paying attention. Clearly, it's a chef who feels some attachment to that ingredient, really believes that it has a place in this. I'm not getting enough heat. I want chili flake as well. Nduja didn't add as much heat as I was expecting. I feel like we need to make up the difference. There could be hot sauce. I don't think you want to introduce more liquid. Like, why bring Nduja to the rodeo if you're inviting hot sauce as well, you know? You're gonna rely on the cheese to make up a lot more of the bulk. And that's what I couldn't quite figure out in the beginning, but I think maybe we cracked the code on that one. Cheese, it's going in while it's cool. Boom. I don't think it would be the end of the world to put the cheese into the filling while the filling was slightly hot. That's not how I would define the apocalypse. Anybody defining the apocalypse like that? Let's taste this. I'm into it. So now we need to assemble. I think we can go half. I don't need as much dough as I had before. We could just go a little bit thinner. Like, it was surprisingly light. I'm still gonna do egg wash to bind these edges. That worked out. It's maybe about the same amount, but the composition of the filling is so different. Still didn't pick up any vents on the top.
Do you want to egg wash the top?
Quick, quick, quick. I feel okay. We're gonna take the sauce that I did before and just put some hot sauce in it. This is gonna make it go to a kind of weird pink place. That's about the color I expected and feared. Into the bowl. All right. You may notice a little bit of an eruption right there, but not bad. Color looks good. They feel light for their size. Got to get like this action going. Come on.
Covering the exploded?
No, not at all. I am curious about like the lack of vents or what's happening there, but overall, I'm feeling really good about this. For ingredients, we swung big, hit big with Nduja, with hot sauce, with mozzarella. I think, call it an 85. Technique, if we were 90 before, I will stick with a 90. In terms of appearance, we were at 95. Do we do it? Do we do it? 100, right there. Tastes, well, I haven't tasted it yet, but I think we're back up around like 88. The average is 91. This is the version of the dish I have to present to the judge. I hope I made some smarter decisions this time around.
Well, well, well.
We meet again.
How'd it go today?
I think it went okay today, actually. Like Nduja, you know, like calzone, but like dip it in blue cheese sauce.
So the logic wasn't really there for you, or?
Well, the only logic being, you know, there are really no rules here. You know, it's somebody who has like a limitless pantry and knows how to use it.
Any idea who that person is?
I said Tyler Florence. Mainstream might be empowered to kind of with things.
And what do you think this dish is called?
A buffalo calzone.
May I present to you Matty Matheson's Nduja pizza pockets?
A little bit annoyed about the freeform hot sauce on top of the dip. But I mean, it makes sense. Like Matty Matheson, through sheer force of his personality, he's putting you on the roller coaster.
He does what he wants.
You are just along for the ride, you know?
Sauce-wise, you actually nailed it. You got all the ingredients. The only thing extra you added was salt to taste.
Let's assume that
Salt to
Matty
taste.
put the salt in and just like
Didn't
got
write
high
it
and
down?
forgot to write it down.
Okay.
How Matty constructs the filling.
Mm-hmm.
What is his process?
Sweating, onion, garlic, but he uses canned tomatoes.
Damn.
Crushed tomato and tomato paste. Then adds the Nduja.
In that second tasting, experiencing the cheesiness without a ton of tomato aspect to it.
No crushed red pepper flakes.
What?
There's hot sauce in there.
No.
One other fresh element for heat in there.
Fresh
Do you
chili?
wanna- Yeah. It has serrano and hot sauce rather than the crushed red pepper flake.
Well, you would have to go out of your way to assume that somebody's putting hot sauce inside this kind of like tomato saucy sort of filling in this kind of application.
Let's talk about your cheesy web.
Fine. The first time around, I was like, no way is this mozzarella. I've tasted the intensity of more of like a Parmesan. I tasted the intensity of something.
Just the old mozzarella.
Are you f***ing kidding me? There's no parm in there? Is there something spicy in the dough?
No.
Oh,
There's no actual cayenne in the dough. Any venting?
no, but where's Maddie's
Just a-
vents?
Just a little bit.
Oh, stop. Those are not vents. That is not a vent.
There's some fork. Look, there's fork holes right there.
Oh, a big f***ing whoop.
I mean, it might have helped you out with like this situation.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Nothing. No egg wash to seal these bad boys.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe we could have gotten away without it. It felt like we needed it. That would make me nervous to go in hard just with a fork.
For ingredients, you gave yourself an 85. I gave you an 81. Of the parm and the canned tomatoes and all of the, the cayenne in the dough, all of those sorts of things.
Okay.
Technique, you gave yourself a 90. I went down a little bit to 87. You got the basic idea of what was going on here. For appearance, you gave yourself 100. Wow.
It was big.
Have you ever
It
given
was
yourself
big.
100 before? I'm going to give you a 96.
All right.
They do look pretty golden brown and delicious. And I'm going to have to taste.
Tasting, an
Let's-
actual live tasting.
Fillings taste really similar, despite the fact that the ingredients are different.
I will say you do get an increased sensation of like jamminess from the tomato that went into Maddie's. That's definitely missing in mine.
I'm going to go with 83.
Okay.
So that brings your total score to 87.
Not bad. Solid B+ territory. I'm delighted.
It's bold.
It's bold.
Yeah.
Like Matty himself. The idea that this comes from Matty is not hard to believe, you know? Whenever there's a decision to be made that has an impact on flavor, it seems like Matty just goes for it. So this is pretty fun.